You know who he is. I forget who he is. I forget his name. He was responding to that. Like a lot of people responded that the ball was gonna go out. If he didn't header it, it would have gone out.
Mm.
So I don't know. But it still was a nice play. I'll look, regardless. Right? It was
After losing to Sporting in Braga, Benfica got a chance to redeem themselves against Braga, and sure they did. Now they set up a match in the League Cup final against Sporting. Will they redeem themselves again? That and much more in another night, another podcast.
Hasta que no estás aquí dentro no sabes la grandeza de este equipo.
Quero o Benfica intimidar o adversário. Quero o manto sagrado entrar com vocês em qualquer estádio e assustá-los, pá! É isso que eu quero!
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Talking to the All Benfica podcast. My name is Alfredo Fumaças, and with me, as always, Cristiano Oliveira. Cristiano, como é que é, amigo?
What's up, Alfredinho? Estás quentinho? Porque lá fora tá um frio do
Tá um
caralho.
frio do caralho. What's going on?
It's been
What's happening?
not much, man. I thought you were gonna say what's going on today. I was just gonna answer. It's colder up there than it is down here. So,
Colder down
but
what? In Toronto?
yeah, the north, the Great White North. It's always colder up there than it is over here. No,
Where's it?
I think. I think
Usually,
so.
yeah, you're right. We're at.
I mean, I'm
Oh yeah, that's
not no
colder,
type
bro.
of
We're at 21.
weatherman, but
They're
the
14.
more north you go, the colder you get. I mean, that's just
Yeah, for you Celsius enthusiasts, where Cristiano and I are is -6 currently, and Toronto is -10 in Celsius. So, look, it's the middle of the winter. What else did you expect, Dave? You staying warm?
Staying warm. I felt colder yesterday than it did today. So maybe you guys got our cold that we got yesterday, but
Something.
it's
we
not
got
just the cold, man. It's the wind. The wind
it's
is
the
what's
wind.
killing. It
Yes.
makes it.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that shit cuts right through you.
It's right chills to the bone as they say, but yeah, we're gonna stay warm. Luckily Benfica kept us nice and warm this afternoon with their performance on this nice chilly day on this side of the Atlantic on the north.
I was actually gonna say before we got into Benfica, Dave, but now you're in a rush to get into Benfica, which is it's a lot warmer on my couch right now watching the Knicks spank your Toronto Raptors. But I guess that's why you were trying to avoid the conversation. But got you, no problem.
Why do you gotta be like that, Chris?
I don't get many of these, bro. We've been horrible for years. We've been hard for 20 years, man. If I don't do it now, I don't know if I'm gonna do it anytime soon.
If
man.
your Knicks weren't doing anything, you would, if they were getting beat by Toronto, you would keep your mouth shut.
No, I would have told Dave that his team's spanking my team. I wouldn't have kept quiet.
If it wasn't the Knicks, it would have been the Rangers, and then vice versa, whichever one is winning.
Yeah, Toronto. Yeah, it would have been
exactly,
something.
Dave.
I keep the problem with the Rangers, Dave, is I don't know why, like, because obviously you're in Toronto, so I'm like, yeah, Dave's a Maple, but you're not. You're a Blackhawks fan. I keep forgetting that part.
Dave, he's like a Mets fan. When things are
No.
good, he's out of the hole. He's out of the hole.
I'll
Don't
defend
ever-
Cristiano on this one. He's not a Mets fan.
When
Don't
the team's
ever-
doing well, he's out of the hole. When they're not doing well, he stays in the hole.
No, don't ever, Dave. This guy's got a short memory. You recall, I was crying the day the Knicks lost the draft. We picked number 3, wound up getting your boy, a Canadian boy that we eventually traded to you guys because I
remember
was
going
all
to your
in on
house and you had tears in
Zion
your eyes.
Williamson. I was so don't tell me, Alfredo, though my teams are bad. I'm still invested. Unfortunately, I'm still invested.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure the Freddies aren't here to listen to any Knicks basketball talk. So with that in mind, Freddies,
Yeah.
smash the like button. Welcome to another edition of the Benfica podcast.
That's right.
And give us your thought. Last week's podcast, we did not do a good job in terms of mentioning your question. It was just last week we were todos fudidos. Those games against Sporting leave us in a very bad mood. So we'll try to keep an eye on you guys this week. We apologize, but we'll do a better job today.
Brunjil Rodrigues and Manuel da Cunha are in the chat. Welcome, gentlemen. Bonsoir, les boys. Brunjil Rodrigues. Always good to see everyone come in. 1, 2, 3. Well, Chris, or maybe South Americans too,
You never know, bro. We're internationale.
Internationale.
I mean, you definitely are because you
worldwide.
I thought Brunjil Rodriguez was saying bonnet, and you're like, but I guess you read the whole thing. I don't know. I just read the first one, bonnet. I was gonna say you guys think bonnet because of the cold or some shit. He calls it bonnet. I don't know. What do you guys call? What do you call them? Barus? What do you call a beanie?
Oh, because Canadians.
In Canadian is toque.
A toque.
A toque? A
Yeah.
toque. It's a toque.
TOUQUE toque.
Toque.
Hey, Jesus. Tem que ser mais complicated. Why can't it just be TUK, bro? So easy.
Fancy,
the
man.
complicated way.
It sounds
It's the
fancy.
French.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're making some time here to let people come in and and join us. But if you're watching this live we're on live usually on YouTube. on Tuesday nights. Today, because Benfica played on Wednesday, we're here on Wednesday. Next week, Benfica will play on Tuesday, so we'll be here on Tuesday. On tonight's podcast, 546 is what we're up to. We will have the 2 Braga games, one for the league and one for the League Cup, the semifinal of the League Cup that took place today. 2 different results, 2 different performances. And then we have another matchup against Sporting. We just played them a couple weeks back for the league. Now we have the final for the League Cup, which happens this Saturday, so we'll have that preview. And then Benfica is in action again on Tuesday. So 6 days from today, on Tuesday, against Farense down in the Algarve. So let's get things started. We'll get started.
And by the way,
go ahead.
Before we get to all that, because trying to kill time and whatever, but this game on Saturday makes absolutely no sense, bro.
Why is
absolutely no sense. Because if it was Sunday, okay, but Benfica's gonna get 2 days off while Sporting gets an extra day off. Makes no sense. The game should be played on Sunday.
That's what I thought too. That's what I thought too. And then I saw that the game was on Saturday, and I was like,
And look, Gary B saying, why couldn't they play like this? Oh, I thought. Never mind. I was
Gary, you're absolutely right.
About the Saturday. This is why I don't read the chat. See, this is why you read them. Because I thought he was going to say, why can't they play? Why can't they play Saturday? I was like, no, they should play Sunday. But no, that's
Gary B. You're
you're
absolutely right, man.
I got a better question. Why can't they play like this all the time?
All the time, bro.
All the time, every time.
Anyway, let me give you the lineup for Saturday's game. Trubin was in goal. Ba, Araújo, Otamendi, and Carreras. Barreiros, Koksu, and Auschnitz in the middle. Di Maria, Artur and Pavlidis. So Amdouni, who'd started against Sporting, was back on the bench. And look, I thought the first 2.5 minutes were great. with Pavlidis having that one that he goes around the goalkeeper and then he just hits the post. But then after that,
it was like in the 8th minute.
Eighth minute, you're right.
Not
2.5 minutes. Sorry,
but it was still, things were still good at 2.5 minutes. So yes, agree.
Yeah, no, but and then after that, Benfica didn't do much else. Braga was able to. Every time they came down to Benfica's end, it seemed that there was danger for Benfica. Too passive on defense, not enough intensity in terms of the team, and there was just a lot of sloppy passing. 17th minute, we give up the goal on, as I mentioned, passive defensive play. Then before the half, a goal on a corner kick that we give up, a free header on a corner kick, and things just look to go the wrong way all of a sudden. And it's like, well, Sporting, you found out that Sporting had tied, right? And here's a chance for us to get back some points off Sporting. And what you do is you put out a big goose egg in the first half. In the second half, there wasn't much more.
Better, bro. Let Dave and I talk, bro.
Dave, go ahead, talk, Dave.
Well, Chris, what were you gonna say? Because I've got concerns that this is back-to-back games now that the team has come out flat.
Back to back.
No. But wait, hold on, Alfredo. You can't. We're talking about what is Saturday, Sunday. Where they get to win? Alfredo, he's going Sporting Braga game, right, Dave? That's what you're referring to, right?
That's correct. But okay, Alfredo might have more references. Those are the only 2 that I have that come top of mind. You might have
that is a good point because the game before against Dobbs, we dropped points. We were shit in the first half. Yeah, you know what, Alfredo, you're right. Thinking about it, there's a.
Bro, we haven't played good in a good 2 months, a good 2 solid months.
But this is just coming out of the start of the game because we can argue that the team responded in the second half of the Sporting match, and they did it against Braga too. But to start off flat-footed again in these bigger games, because you can make the argument that Braga is one of the more tougher competitions that you're going to play when you're playing in the Portuguese league, and to let them come to your house and let them play the way they did in that first half and show no motivation, nothing to go and play the Benfica style that we're used to watching and the Benfica style we want to see our team play with was concerning that it happened on back-to-back games against Sporting and Braga. But the response was there in both second halves, but shouldn't have even been like that in the first half against Braga at home.
I'll
That
get
game to me and that first half to me comes down to one player, and that's some Angelico, whatever his name is, Pavlidis. When you
Vangelis.
go out there, when you go out there and you spend $18 million on a striker that's going to come in and answer all your prayers because your last striker that you purchased the year before for 22 million is just such a flop, right? This guy has to be able to put that one opportunity away when he goes around the goalie and he shoots it wide. If he scores that goal, which is what he was brought in to do, and which is a golden opportunity with no keeper on net, he just has to hit the target. And he doesn't do that, and then it sets up Benfica for failure. They come right back down the other side. A few minutes later, our defenders are ball watching once again, which has been a big theme here so far this season. And before you could blink, we're down 1-0. And that to me comes down, if Pavlidis puts that away, it's a totally different game. And this is the reason why Benfica struggled for most of the season. Because yes, when Benfica scores goals, they come in bunches when Benfica plays well, which we've very rarely seen that of late, right? But it's in games like these against the better teams, or even against the odds of the world. But it's those moments that Benfica needs a goal to either get on the scoreboard and alleviate, all the pressure on them, or even in games like Avs, when Benfica's up 1-0 and you score another goal and it puts the game away. Yet our strikers and have not been able to do that, and so I think Benfica needs to figure this out ASAP
Yeah.
because there's still half a season to go. Um, and I at this point I don't even know where to go. I'm being dead ass because uh, I know they're going to try to sell Cabral, but they're asking for the money that they invested on him. They want to recoup it all, which I just don't see them doing it. Pavlidis ain't leaving anywhere. So I don't know where Benfica is going to get these goals, but it's imperative that these guys start hitting the target because that game might turn out to be a totally different game had he scored that goal with that one opportunity he had in the 8th minute.
Yeah. And you're right, Chris. Despite us playing awful at times, it's that one goal that makes the difference and keeps the team in the game and keeps the team clear-headed and confident and just see results out. Sometimes we can't see them out, but but it's
But
like
we can't see them out. We can't see them out because we're winning 1-0 and we're not playing well, but then we'll get an opportunity that a guy like Pavlidis should be putting away and he doesn't. And then you leave the door open for the opposition to come in
yeah.
and score. And therefore, like Avs, again, going back to that game because it's one of the most recent games that we dropped points in. But they literally scored in the 93rd or 94th minute in the last kick of the game. And Benfica had plenty of other opportunities throughout that game to go up 2-0, and they can never convert in order to give themselves some breathing space, to give themselves, an opportunity if a team is going to score a late goal like that. At least you're still on top, you're still ahead on the scoreboard, and you can learn from that. And, it's a totally different game, guys. Totally different.
Yeah.
And Benfica and the strikers need to do better, man. I mean, there's nothing else to be said besides they just need to do better. I know you can critique the team, and rightfully so. We have not, as Dave mentioned, have not started games off the right way. Whether you want to blame the coaching staff, you want to blame the players, whatever it is, I don't care what combination you come up with. It has not been good. Benfica has been giving the opposition 45 minutes of free play. So much so that our coach goes to the press conference and says, "Oh, I think we created a chance." And our captain and our other, star on the team, and Di Maria, come like, we gave the team 45. And it's been a little rift going back and forth through the media because obviously the media does not let that die down.
Yeah.
But yeah, Benfica needs to collectively be better. But again, as bad as they might have been, as bad as they've been sleepwalking through some of these halves, if our strikers put away a couple of those chances, we're sitting here talking about a totally different ball game.
Yeah.
And I just think that it's important to mention that rather than just sugarcoat it.
Yeah, look, I haven't seen this team play well since the Porto game. We had that 7-0 shellacking of Estrela da Amadora for the Taça de Portugal. Monaco, I don't know why we won that game. Aroca, not all that great. Against Vitória, same thing. Bologna, 0-0. AVS, we tied.
Disappointment.
Yeah.
That's disappointing.
I mean,
because that could have. I'm sorry, Alfredo, but that could have set us up to be comfortably looking at advancing, and we still might advance. But now we have to try to get at least 1 point against a Barcelona and a Juventus in the Champions League. So that game was totally disappointment on the squad.
It's just we beat Sturil 3-0, but it wasn't convincing. It wasn't all that great. And then we lost to Sporting, we lost to Braga, and now we finally won against Braga. And I guess I don't know what it was, man. I'm trying. I scratch my head and think about what could possibly be that the team just didn't look like they showed up. They lacked intensity. They were sloppy. They lacked focus. Sometimes the team looked tired at times. I don't think that the one thing that they lacked was attitude, because I think the attitude was there. It was just the intensity. The pressing was off. The passing was off. And something that I've been seeing is just I haven't seen the team progress with Lage the way.
But that's attitude, no, Alfredo, in the first
Yeah,
half.
but I mean,
if you're lack
intensity,
if you're talking about lack of press, lack of intent, that's attitude, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a team that needs to understand, coaching staff included, whomever it is, the message needs to get across that, look, we just dropped 3 big points at the weekend against our crosstown rivals, but now they just drew. We have an opportunity to get right back to the top of the leaderboard. And so that message was not carried onto the field. Whether it's the coaching staff or the players, it's unacceptable for a team like Benfica to throw up such a goose egg in the first half at home in a game that's a must-win game.
Yeah. And and there's obviously, look, you believe what you want to believe, but there's rumors that there's a divided locker room, that there's an Argentinian camp and there's a Turkish camp. I don't know how much of that is true, to be honest with you. And everything you read in the media, I mean, the media wants to sell papers. I don't know how much of it is true. But the fact of the matter is that both Di Maria and Otamendi have come out and said we gave up first halves on both games, both the Sporting game and the Braga game, and then it seems that Lage is contradicting him when he speaks in his press conferences.
Yeah, fine, but what does that have to do? I'm sorry, Dave.
No, go ahead.
If with what you just said, Alfred, I agree with, right? The coach says one thing, the captain and the star players say another thing, but I'm just asking a question. I'm not picking, I'm asking a question. What does that have to do with the Turkish-Argentinian war? That has nothing to do with it.
No, it has nothing to do with it.
I'm just asking.
I'm not saying that there is a rift, but the rumor is that there is a rift. But the thing is that I think that when players buy into the coach's ideas and they decide to say, okay, regardless of whether I feel that this makes sense or not, especially the more veteran players, right? I'm going to do this, and I want to see the results. But seeing that that the team hasn't progressed from the time when Lage first arrived, which was, let's just put guys in the right places and let's go at it. But after that, the team hasn't had much progress. I don't know. And then you can make an argument that Otamendi and Di Maria might be unhappy that Prestiani and Rollheiser are not getting playing time. I don't know. I don't know that if there's a rift. The truth of the matter is that they both came out and said we can't give first halves lead.
But hold on. But this is the problem I have, right, Alfredo? When you tell me what you just said, right? Which is we don't know the players, or they could be upset because of Rollheiser and Prestiani, all that other stuff you told me. I mean, the fact of the matter is, have they been wrong in their assessments? I don't think so. I think they've actually spoken the truth.
No,
been the other way around.
They haven't. They haven't been wrong.
That's my point. Had it been the other way around, where the coach is saying, "Look, we haven't been good," and they come out and say, "No, we've been good." No, but they're actually being honest.
Right.
So I don't see where this rift, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't see them having a problem with I think what happened is, look, the team had that they were motivated with the coaching change. Team came up, put up great performances at some point, kept winning games even when playing bad. I just think that the one knock that I've had, and a lot of people have had, but I've also defended it because I'm not sure about all the options on the bench, right? But I believe the team has been, like you look at Artukoglu, whatever. These players have gotten burnt out.
Yeah.
That's it. Because they're constantly playing every 3 days, and it's always the same guys.
Yeah.
I think it's more to do with that than any of these rifts. Again, as I stated before, if Di Maria and Otamendi were saying the opposite of what we all see, okay, these guys are the problem. But when you're speaking the truth, man, how could anybody fault them? I don't think
And
there's anything there
Yeah.
with that. Go ahead,
this
Dave.
is
Go ahead,
this
Dave.
is the second year in a row now too that the coach, whether it be Bruno Lage or Roger Schmidt, says one thing, and then the players in Otamendi say another thing. Because this happened too last year, where Roger Schmidt would come to the press conference and say, "Oh,
Top
there-
game. Top game.
Top game,
we
top
would
team.
play top game, top quality opponent. We played our game," and then Otamendi in the flash interview would say the complete opposite, which again was the truth, right? Which is what the supporters wanted to hear. They wanted to hear some accountability, but so I don't know if this is Lage being fed, because now this is 2 years in a row. I don't know if this is Lage being fed some PR material from the club's communication staff, but we can clearly see it. It doesn't pass the eye test with what Lage is saying compared to what Otamendi and Di Maria are saying. So I would, that's more of a concern than any potential rift between Argentinian and Turkish players. Is why are the players saying one thing, and now this is 2 years in a row where the coaches are saying the complete opposite.
Dave, I don't subscribe to the rift in the locker room for as much as that's being rumored out. But I mean, I think that Lage is lacking a lot of coherence at this time. I mean, at one point he said that he put in Best and Cabral at the same time because Best had good service to Cabral's head. But in this game, he puts in Cabral in the 78th minute and he puts Best in the 82nd minute. Why not bring him in at the same time? If he had stated that Best serves good balls to Cabral, why didn't he bring him in at the same time?
What game is this?
This Braga game.
What? We can play two. Was this Braga game we're talking about on Sunday or the
No,
Braga game today?
we
Wednesday?
haven't gotten to the one for today yet.
Okay. So you're still talking about the one on Wednesday. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So it's like no, the one. When did we play? Saturday, right?
Saturday, Sunday.
But
whatever.
it's like he lacks some coherence, and then you feel like he's just putting Sheldrup because he's getting pressure to put Sheldrup. And it's just I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure that a lot of us question disappointment, and I just, the thing that worries me is that the team hasn't made any progress. They haven't been consistent since he started. Yeah, those first couple games you squeezed out results to keep you there, and you took advantage of Sporting slip-ups. But now you have Sporting more slip-ups, and you can't take advantage. And all of a sudden, if Porto wins against Nacional this weekend, which is their makeup game, they'll be first. And nobody really saw Porto coming.
5 points.
Huh?
By 5 points.
Yeah, they'll be first.
They'll be first by 5 points with 5 points advantage. That's what I'm saying.
Porto will be first with 5 points advantage?
Yes.
I don't think it's that many, Chris.
Yes, it is.
Peraí.
They're 2 up now. They're up 2 now with a game in the hand, Alfredo. Do the math.
Deixa eu ver. Standings. Yeah. No.
This portion of the show
Porto is 40 points, bro. So they'll be up 2 points.
More.
Alfredo, what is wrong with you? They're 40
They have
now.
16. They have 16.
They got
still have
40
that game to
points,
play.
bro. They got one game on hand. So
So
40
they'll
be
have-
43.
They'll have 43.
Sporting has 41.
We have 38. We have
And we have
38.
38.
No, but I'm
Sporting.
talking
You're
about
looking at Sporting's
in first.
Forget Sporting, Alfredo.
So
I'm
forget,
talking
you
about
can't forget
Benfica.
Sporting when Sporting's in first right now.
I know, but I'm talking about Benfica. I was talking. Well, this is the Benfica podcast, right? I was talking about.
Yeah, but
Porto will have a 5-point lead on
yes,
Benfica. That's
on
what I was
Benfica, yes, but
referencing
Benfica
to.
will be in third.
Yes.
So what does that matter?
I care about Benfica. That's what matters to me.
Right, but
get me?
you want
And
to.
I thought we were talking about Benfica. Yes,
You got to pass
I'm sorry.
Sporting first before you could get to Porto, if that's the case. But anyway,
That's our only saving grace, is that how bad we're playing. The teams above us are playing a little bit inconsistent at the moment too. So this league is hopefully gonna come right down to the end, and hopefully we get some form and really start picking up these points here going into
Yeah.
the
But
new year.
I look at this team and I have, like I said, I haven't been able to see any progress, and I also think that this team lacks an identity. I don't know who this team is, to be honest with you. There's teams in the past that you looked at the team and you said, okay, I know what they are. I know how they like to play. I know how they play. I know who the guys are, and this team is very one dimensional. You give the ball to Di Maria and let Di Maria make the magic happen. A guy that's going to be 37 years old soon.
This team needs a number 6 ASAP. Okay. You talked about Barreiro, right? Did you talk about him? He started in place of Tino,
Yeah,
and I don't think he had the same impact in this game that he had against Sporting when he came in as a sub in the
yeah,
second half.
yeah, and
And I think Benfica also, you need a player of that magnitude, because the Tinos of the world, the Barretos of the world, they're nice depth pieces, but not difference makers, man. And I know we're sitting here and we're criticizing everyone and everything, but at the end of the day, man, like, you can't get these types of results that you want with players that are very inconsistent and aren't at the level where we all anticipate them to be as well.
yeah, and
So Benfica needs to do their homework now. The good thing is that, first of all, Porto has to win the game, right? The game got interrupted 15 minutes into the game because of the
the fog.
fog. So, I mean, they can still lose or draw the game, right? If they win, obviously they'll have that gap, but there's a good game. There's still a game to be played, and let's hope that they don't get the result that
Yeah,
they want.
and
And if that's the case, Benfica's still in it. Benfica's still in it, and right now, it's the transfer window that they can make some changes and hopefully fortify this roster.
yeah, and Gary B is saying Lage inherited this group of players. He's trying to make it work. Yeah, he also inherited the same group, not the same group, but he also inherited a team from Rui Vitoria, and we all know what how that ended up. I just, I think that
Well,
one
he
year
made that work. Hold on. He made that work.
he made that
When
work. That's what I'm
he
saying.
made
Like,
that work. He turned that around. It was, I guess, his criticism is when he got the players he wanted, then he fell. But he made it work
right.
with the other guys.
Well,
There was also a young guy named João Felix that
Yeah.
he had at his disposal.
I get all of that.
wasn't being utilized.
I get all of that. The thing is that I'm seeing it, and look, we can't just sit here and say that Benfica is very deep and Benfica has extremely talented players on this 11. There's definitely some gaps. There's some drops in terms of the talent that we're seeing. But the thing that worries me is the lack of progress on this team. That's what worries me. It's not the lack of talent, because I think at this point we look at this team and we say, okay, well, we know that this team has limitations. We know that this team doesn't have depth at certain spots. We know that this team needs a guy here and a guy in another position to really take it to the next level. But I just haven't seen that initial momentum from Lage taking over that we saw. I just haven't seen it. I just haven't seen him continuously improve this team and this team improve, and that's what worries me. That's what worries me about Lage and this team. And look, you're right. He inherited. These weren't his players. The team wasn't built to fit his style. And maybe when he inherited the team from Rui Vitoria, he had players in the B team, which he promoted, which kind of he was able to place him there and fit more of his style. And as Dave mentioned, João Felix was a big key in that. But I haven't seen any progress from Lage that worries me. And not that I'm against Lage or not, but I don't know. It just worries me that he hasn't really gotten this team on a better momentum. But so after Sporting tying, we lose points to a Braga team which didn't play some of their starters and was still able to beat Benfica, to stifle Benfica. So go figure.
Cabral comes in and scores the goal.
Yeah.
I think it's the first thing he's done since what? since Monaco,
since
right?
Monaco.
Yeah.
Yeah, since Monaco.
Yeah.
So that was good to see. I thought that would actually lead to him getting the start in today's game. We'll get into today in a minute, but obviously it didn't. But that was good to see. And Benfica had chances, but as I stated with the Pablides in the 8th minute, these guys just can't put the ball in the back of the net.
Yeah.
And that game was there to be had. Benfica could
Right.
have, at the very least, drew the game, salvaged the point. But due to our inability to score goals and do the and do the one thing that we expect these guys with these high wages to come in and do, and especially some of these occasions where it's just you the goalie, you in front of the goal, should be able to at least pick out the target. And unfortunately, right now they're just having a very difficult time, man. Very
Yeah.
difficult time of doing that and getting these results.
Yeah, and when the goals don't when the balls don't go in, it makes things a lot harder. There's a lot more pressure. There's pressure on the defense, which also hasn't been at their best. And Cristiano here has been, somewhat of a critic of Araújo, and we've seen some chinks in his armor, despite a lot of people saying that he's been Benfica's best player in the past couple months. But the coverage or the goal that he allows, because he's not marking tight against Braga, the first goal, you got the Gyökeres play that gives Sporting the 1-0, that he gets over eager and he gets beat. Our defense hasn't been stellar, and I think that when you don't score goals, you put the pressure on the defense, and then any little mistake, it's costly. Dave, stats.
Yeah, we'll just keep it at one here. With that game against Braga, that's the end of the first round of league play, and Benfica finishes with 38 points after the first round, which is their least amount in the last 4 seasons. So 38 this season. Last season they had 42 at this stage, 44 the year prior, and 40 in 2021, 2022. So not looking good after the first round of play here for Benfica.
Yeah. And Chris, Neil is saying, I'm okay with keeping Pavlidis and Cabral. Not sure if they're good enough to be starters, but they can come on as subs. The goals need to come in. Anyone stand out on the B team? There's a couple kids on the B team, but they're not ready
Hold
yet.
on, Alfredo, hold on. I don't care if there is 10 kids on the B team. You mean to tell me you spent $40 million on these 2 guys and they're gonna sit on the bench? It just
Well, if you bring another
Listen.
guy that's better than them that could put the ball behind in the net.
They're not bringing anybody that's better unless they get rid of at least one of these guys. That's just a fact. I mean, Benfica is not going to be able to again. That's 40 million on these 2, and unless they bring what they bring a guy for 5 million. Is that what you're saying? They're going to bring a better guy than these guys for 5 million?
I don't know.
Okay, maybe. But if they're going to go out and spend money and bring in another striker, that's going to supplant these guys and push these guys over to the bench. Probably going to be a nice little penny, because as we know, it's the hardest thing to do in the game of football is score goals. And these guys don't fall from trees. So it'd be beautiful. But if that were the case, at the end of the day, even if they had a replacement, one of these guys is leaving. They're not keeping both of these guys. They're 2 of the top. I think Cabral's like one of the top 5 paid players on the team. And they spent 22 million on him. It's not to sit him on. As much as they hate to sit him on the bench now, it's one. But sitting both, no, that's never gonna happen.
Yeah. So after losing to Braga, Benfica got a chance to redeem themselves in the League Cup semifinal, Final Four. That the league is pushing really hard. Has been happening in Leiria. It's usually 4 top teams. This year was the 4 top teams. That wasn't even like group play for these teams to get up there. So it was just, I think it was the top 4 teams from last year that got to go to the Final Four. Truban was in goal, Araújo, Silva, Otamendi, and Carreras. Oxu, Tino, and Auschness. Di Maria, Sheldrup, and Pavlidis. So Araújo at right back. I don't know if Bob was even on the bench or if he was hurt. I think I saw him pick up a knock on a game against Braga over the weekend. So I don't know. But then you get Barreiros. Now it's Tino. You got Sheldrup and Arturkoglu, which I'm perfectly fine with it because I had been saying that Arturkoglu had been dragging ass for the past month and a half, 2 months. Guy just looked tired. So all the people clamoring for Sheldrup and Rollheiser, you finally got Sheldrup to come in and play. And look, Benfica was a lot better. Araújo with the header and on the crossbar 5 minutes in. Then Carreras with the little short dribble in the 21st minute. And then the goals just start pouring in. 27th minute, Di Maria off of an Araújo assist. 28th minute, 2-0, Carreras off a Coxu assist. And 36th minute, Di Maria again off a Pavlidis assist. A nice little cross and side of the foot by Di Maria, just put it away. And look, I think this is the best first half that I've seen Benfica play in a long time. Dave, what'd you think?
This is what we were expecting, or at least I was expecting to see on Saturday. This is the first half that we needed at home too. Like the way Braga came in and took over that first half at home was embarrassing. But yeah, this is what happens when you start the match on time, not at the 45th or 46th minute, and the results show for themselves. You go into the lead, the halftime with a 3-0 lead, and then from there you're able to play with some flexibility, get some rotation in there too in the second half, and you can tell without that added pressure of needing to get that goal, the team was just playing like a freestyle in the second half when there should have been more goals than just the 3 that were scored in the first half. But that's positive things happen when you show up to work on time and you don't leave it to the second half.
Yeah. More of the ball, more game volume for Benfica, 63% of possession, and the chances to go along, which is what you want. You want game volume and you want chances to be created. So like I said, I felt that there was the best first half in a long time by Benfica. And we've been seeing some pretty shitty first halves. But as Dave says, show up to work on time and get ready to go work. Shannon, what'd you think of the first half?
Make no mistake about it, guys. Getting that Di Maria goal, right? Lifted the spirits. The team starts thinking, okay, we're right back in business. Then all of a sudden leads to another goal. The confidence boost is just enormous. As I said before, start getting these early goals, man, and the team is a whole different team. And so glad to see Benfica come out and play the game the way we all want to see Benfica play, and at least attack the games and the way that we all want them to play. And it's a joy to watch. You see, the team winning and the team obviously the attitudes change to me, which is important. But and the reason why I lost my train of thought right now is because I was gonna ask the question. Seeing the team play today and obviously getting not the 3 points, but the equivalent of 3 points because they move on. But would you have swapped today's win for Saturday's win? Or if you had to lose one, would it have been Saturday or today? I don't know how to ask that question.
That's a tough one.
I would have taken this Saturday because I value the league more than this winter competition. But given that we're just coming off 2024 with no titles, the argument could be made that it's good to have the chance to now win a title here in the finals against Sporting. So you could go either way, but I value the league more than this league.
I do too, because I don't know. You see Sporting slip up, and you have a chance to kind of to be right there, and you don't take advantage. But I does the trophy make things better? Absolutely. Benfica hasn't won this competition in what 8 years?
9 years. 9.
Right. They hold.
9 years.
They won it 7 times, and ever since then.
Yep.
So it's just I don't
I
know.
think the 7 times they won it was like 7 times in a row, right?
Yeah,
Or something like that. Six.
almost.
Some
It was
It was-
they
6 in
lost
a
the
row, I
first
think.
one. The
It was
first one they
7 and
lost.
9 years that they won.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And now look, I'm of the same opinion. I kind of prioritize the league more, but due to the fact that we have, if I'm not mistaken, what, one trophy in the last 5 years?
Yeah.
Or two? Or two?
The Super Cup, you
I
won.
mean,
That's it.
okay, Super Cup in the Campeonato,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? So two trophies in 5 years. Due to that crazy fact, you kind of make this competition important. Because to me, out of the domestic competitions, this is by far the weakest one. It should be the third. This is the game that Prestiani plays, Roheiser plays, Schaldrup plays, Cabral plays, everybody plays, right? But due to the fact that it's become that much more important due to
Yeah.
our lack of accomplishments in recent years, it becomes important. And now you have to make it count come Saturday. So I'm kind of like company. With all that being said, I still think I would have said, you know what? Give me the 3 points on Saturday.
Yeah, man.
But
Manuel Acuna says the same thing. I would take the Saturday points. Yeah, I'm all for it. I'm all for it, but I do understand that the trophy is a trophy, and this might be the one we have a chance. And I think that the biggest thing is, you've redeemed yourself against Braga, and now you got a chance to go against Sporting, and you really got a chance of putting a little bit of pressure on Sporting, because Sporting beat us, right? And now we have a chance to say, hey, we're still here, and you guys are gonna have to fight with us until the end of the season. So we'll see.
It's double redemption. We've already handled their business against Braga after what they did to us at our home, and now let's pay it back to Sporting too. I don't know if you guys heard Sporting's manager after the match against us, when he said that though he ended up being right, because they ended up dropping points to Guimarães, but he said that the Guimarães match would be more difficult than the Benfica match, where in no universe should that be the case. So
Well,
maybe some bulletin board material here.
But Dave,
for the, team on Saturday.
there's a few storylines. For one, it's his former team. There's
he's not
there's
talkable.
added motivation. The players know him, knows what his style is, knows what he likes to do. So in a way, his game against Guimarães was going to be a lot more exposed than a game against Benfica, and that's why he found, and on top of it, against Guimarães at the Dom Afonso Henriques, with the crowd behind the team, also added motivation to cheer against him. There's a couple storylines that go against him that made the Guimarães game a game that's more difficult, while playing at home against Benfica didn't seem that much more difficult to him. I don't know. I get where he's coming from, but you're right. Benfica could take that and put it on the locker room. So, what else? Yeah, it was in the second half, Benfica just managed the game. Not Sanches, Artur Koglu, Rego, and Cabral all came in. Everybody got playing time. I thought that Sheldrup had a decent game. Cristiano felt that he had a much better second half than his first half. And look, I think that's kind of what you need to see when you put a guy on the field after being on the bench, and he has to respond. And I thought that Sheldrup responded. So we'll see.
You can see that there's talent there from the kid, right? So this is the I think Chris already said this is the games that he should be playing in. This is what this tournament is all about, and I see both sides of the equation are right. He's got talent there, and he had a good had a good second half. First half I didn't see too much intensity from him, and at points was invisible on the pitch, but second half completely different story. So something good to build off of, and hopefully he continues to get some more playing time going forward.
Yeah. Aussie Benfica is saying if Benfica win, rivals will say this trophy is meaningless, just like when Benfica won 7 in a row. It meant something in the past few years. Yeah, I mean, it's always been played down when Benfica was winning them. But look, a trophy is a trophy. There's 3 domestic trophies 4 domestic trophies to be had during the normal season. So I think that Benfica should always aim to get all 4. And
We
those
just can't afford to play it down right now because we haven't won
We
shit
can't.
in 5 years.
You're right.
So
You're right.
yeah, it becomes important. Like as much as we want to shit on it, and just like the opposition,
Yeah.
right? Our rivals, they want to shit on it because they're not winning it.
Yeah.
But then when they're not winning other trophies as well, they're like, oh wait, this might be our one trophy. And so right now, the only thing that's in front of you, the only opportunity you're gonna get at cups is the one that's in front of you now, and this is it. And so Benfica has to do what they have to do. But at the end of the day, it's the campeonato that matters. But I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Super congested, and now we set up a matchup with Sporting having an extra day of rest. The game takes place on Saturday. This is the 3rd time Benfica and Sporting will face each other in a final. And Benfica, as Cristiano mentioned, hasn't won it in 9 years.
9 years.
9 years and 7-time winner. As Dave mentioned, 7 times in 9 years. That Benfica has won, excuse me. But yeah, that sets up a time. Cristiano, what do you think? Do you think it'll be a much different game than Alvalade?
Say this. I hope they play the same back 4 they played today.
Mm-hmm.
I like to see the same back 4. Boz had his ups and downs, and so I think brings a little bit more sturdiness to the back, a little bit more stability with the Tony Silva in there. You're gonna need that physicality, that grit, and that power against Joikers and the guys and Harder or Hater, whatever his name is. So I would like to see. I like to get another look at this back 4 that we saw today. The question mark is going to be once again: is it going to be Tino or is it going to be Barreiro in there? Because I don't know how you could play Tino again, even in today's game against Braga. He had a couple of miscues there with the ball at his feet.
Yeah.
And so it'll be interesting to see because Sporting is going to press Benfica all around the field.
Yep.
And I'm saying it right now. I can't even believe I'm saying this because I'm not a fan of either. But I play Barreiro.
Yep.
At this point, I mean, if this game is important, they want to win this connect.
I think that Barreiro gives you a little bit more with the ball. I don't know. But I think I agree with you, Cristiano. I think that, Dave, you could give us your opinion also, but I think that Sporting is going to be pressing Benfica right from the start. Dave, what do you think?
Especially if Tino plays. If Tino plays, then forget about it. That shit's going to be on freaking, next level. It's going to be on steroids.
Yep. What do you think, Dave?
Which is, I'm wondering if that's why he left Barreiro on the bench today to kind of give him some rest for that game on Saturday against Sporting. Not that you want to be thinking 2 steps ahead before even winning this getting through today's match, but I would like to see Barreiro there just based on Florentino. We saw what Florentino or the lack of what Florentino did against Sporting not too long ago. So Barreiro, I hope gets that start there. One thing, just going back to today's match, we've been talking about how much Artukoglu needs rest, and then he gets the start on the bench, but then comes in at the 65 when we're winning 3-0. I felt like it wasn't needed. Like, let that guy rest his legs and save him for Saturday. And I think that was a little bit of a head scratcher.
Yeah, Rollheiser and Pristina didn't even make the bench.
You know what that could have been? That could have been the game's wide open, right? Benfica's still creating chances. And if he gets one here, his confidence, could boost up.
I think he just needs more rest and confidence.
I agree, but I'm just saying why he probably played him, why he played him this game.
I don't know.
I think it was more of a confidence thing than it was anything else. Trying to get him on the score sheet.
I have no idea. But yeah, the final takes place Saturday, 7:45 p.m. local. So we'll see what happens with that. Benfica will be right back in action on Tuesday against Farense at Farense for the Portuguese Cup. extremely congested month in terms of fixtures, and I think this League Cup couldn't have come at a worse time. But it is what it is, and Cristiano already mentioned, why don't I play on Sunday? Because they're playing on Wednesday because of the Portuguese. I mean, on Tuesday because of the Portuguese Cup.
But they could have played it on Wednesday.
Go figure that out.
Still would have been 2 to. But I mean, I'm just saying, because these teams coming out of this competition against one another, regardless of whether it was Porto Benfica, Porto Braga, Braga Sporting, whatever.
Yep.
The level drops off in the next game. So I mean, 2 days of rest will be more. How do I put it? 2 days of rest won't be as harmful as 2 days of rest for Benfica will be against the competition, which is Sporting.
They can't play on Wednesday because after the Tuesday match they play on Friday because then Champions League the next
Tuesday.
Oh, there's like 9 games I think this month.
It's like you're lucky if you get 3 days in between matches at this point. The way it's going here.
Yeah. That's a good shout, Dave. I didn't even think about that.
What else we got? Winter transfer window is open. If we have to see any kind of rumors with traction. I think I heard somebody was telling me that what's that?
The rumors. You want a better rumor than
Zayed?
Alberto from Guimarães?
Alberto Guimarães is going to Sporting.
Yes, but that's the rumor. That's the only rumor I've
for
seen
Benfica.
so far.
I heard Zayed.
Yeah, they were I haven't heard Zayed. I wish.
I heard Zayed, and who else did I hear?
Zayed from Ajax? Is that the guy you're talking about?
I don't know if that's
somebody's
the guy.
name wrong.
I don't know if it's that or if it's the guy from Chelsea. I don't know. It was
It's the same guy, Alfredo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It's the same guy.
Okay.
The same guy.
Oh, but you said Ajax.
Well, he went from Chelsea to Ajax.
Oh, so he's on loan there?
Same guy. No, he was there. I think he just made his way from Chelsea like 4 years ago. Whatever. He played at Chelsea. He went from Chelsea to Ajax.
Yeah, and
if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure.
There was another guy that I heard. I don't know if it was somebody from Chelsea also that wanted to come to Portugal, but and that guy, I remember hearing the name. I was like, wow, if that guy comes to Portugal, or if he comes to Benfica, Benfica will be stacked. I forget who.
I mean, I'm afraid you can't be teasing us like this. I mean, if you don't know, then no.
I forget who it was, dude.
Because now you got us all scratching our heads.
No,
like,
it was
João Felix.
No, it wasn't João Felix. It was I don't know who it was, to be honest with you.
Okay.
The only one that I've seen was what's his face is trying to pressure the Antonio Silva move to
I saw that. Yeah.
And the Brazilian might be coming back plus cash. The Brazilian center back, who is it? Douglas Luiz or?
No, he's not a center back. And
teams
he's a midfield. Teams in England want him back. No, Douglas Luiz. I don't know. They just spent like 60 million on him. Now they're gonna send him to Benfica.
Yeah, I don't know if I saw it on. You know who was telling me, Chris? Luis Peters' kid. He bought
Pedro.
He bought Pegasus. You know that, right?
I know. Yeah, I know.
And I think that I don't know if he saw it on Transfer Market or something like that.
He's talking about Manuel the Queen saying Reece James. He's a right back.
No, I don't think it's.
But he's injury prone.
I don't think it's Reece James.
Yeah, I don't. Reece James gets. I don't know. I take him, but I think he's too expensive in terms.
Yeah,
of
I don't know.
salary
It was just somebody that didn't want to play for the team that they were playing at, or didn't want to play for the coach anymore, and somebody was saying that he might get a revival. They might get a revival at Benfica. And I forget who it was.
Yeah. The only player I can come up with is João Felix. Keep going back to
Would
João
you take Felix?
Bruno Gil Rodrigues saying Cavani. Pois é esse, é o Cavani.
No, Cavani, foda-se. No, not Cavani,
I
bro.
don't know, Fredo. I mean, when you say, from England, it could be so many players, dude.
It could be so many players.
I don't need, you know what I mean? Like what, from Chelsea, you said?
I don't know
Who's
if it's
on
from Chelsea.
PSG's injury bulletin board? We'll
Yeah,
pick
that's a
him
good
up,
shout, Dave. That's a good shout, Dave.
Yeah, I thought that
Estás lixado,
I forget
Alfredo.
who it was. I forget who it was. Let me text him right now. See if he'll answer me.
Manny Valadon saying hurt Felix loan. Yeah, Felix makes sense a while back. Well, that's a while back. Yeah. I don't know. I have to look at the roster because they have like 40 players on that roster, bro. That's the crazy thing. They have so many players on the first team roster, first team contracts, Chelsea roster. That there's guys that I forget. But Murdrick?
No.
Okay.
I just
I
I
mean,
just sent him a message. I don't know if he's up or not. It was Zayed, and he told me something else. This was
Madueke?
no.
Madueke plays there. I wanted him at one point. I wanted him at Benfica when he was playing, when he was in over there in I think PSV or whatever the hell he was. PSV or I always get those teams wrong. Fofana, Kawa, no.
I forget who it was. I don't know.
Ziyech is not even on Chelsea. He
No,
got sold
he's
to
at Ajax.
Galatasaray. No, he's on
Then
Galatasaray.
okay, but he was at Ajax, then he went to
Yeah.
Galatasaray. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Alfredo, I'm looking at this whole roster.
Maybe it's not.
It can't be because it can't be Cole Palmer. It's not Jadon Sancho.
No, definitely,
Enzo
definitely
Fernandez,
not
Jack,
Cole Palmer.
Pedro Nato, Mark Guehi, Caicedo, Nkunku?
Oh, peraí que ele está-me a responder.
Nkunku?
He said Ziyech from Galatasaray.
Yeah, okay.
Oh,
we established that already.
Girlish. Jack Girlish.
Oh, Grealish.
That was
For Man City?
That was the other day.
Nah, dude. Hell no. Hell no. Hell, to Benfica? Unless, look, the only way it could happen is if Man City pays us. But again, he has such a huge market.
Yeah, he has a market in England.
In England, come on, he's not
going to come.
Even if it's just to sell his birthday month posters.
His birthday month posters.
Yeah, because he's crazy popular in England.
All right, guys.
Relish to Benfica.
Let's get out of here so we can make it in time for our friends at Pema Media. Thank you, everybody, for checking us out and for listening to us. We'll be back on Tuesday after Benfica's game against Farense and also the League Cup. So we'll have the League Cup final. We'll have all of that for you. Thank you so much. And if I haven't wished everybody a Happy New Year. I hope you're having a great start of year, just like Benfica. Take care, everyone. Dave, Cristiano, always a pleasure. Take care, everyone.